choice to start your morning, sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve. And we're talking the big NFC West showdown this weekend. Russell Wilson, NFC West showdown. Russell Wilson and the undefeated Seahawks traveling to Arizona to take on Kyler Murray. And the Cards, both quarterbacks came into this season with MVP hopes. Brandon, I'll start with you. Should the Seahawks be on upset alert as road favorites against the Cards?
They should. And this is an interesting game. Yesterday, Nick, you rolled out your tiers in the NFL, and you had a tier that said flawed but dangerous. And there was two teams that I thought should have gone to the next tier. The first team was the Rams. I think this team is doing something they haven't done since the year they went on that run and running the football the way they are, best in franchise history. And then the other team was the Cardinals. To me, this is that team at the end of the year in December. We're going to look at it and be like, man, they just won how many games in a row? They just won 6. This is the hot team. There's always that team. There's always that Cinderella team. Last year, it was the Tennessee Titans. This year, I truly believe it could be this team. They're dangerous. Offensively, top 5 offense, and they can do it all. Their running back, their quarterback, he can go for 100 yards. And then you have D-Hop, who could be one of the best receiver in the league, and all you got to do is throw it up to him. He's a dog. And on that defensive side, that's not the Legion of Boom. That Richard Sherman is not there. We know that. Those guys aren't coming back in that building and helping out this historical bad defense. They are the worst, not only in the NFL, but they're probably going to do something, Wiles, that the NFL has never seen before. They're so bad. So when you look at this, I don't think it's a trap game because the Seattle Seahawks and Pete Carroll do a great job of getting their teams prepped and ready to roll. Every day is the same. But this matchup is an interesting one. And the last thing here, Nick, is MVP, this whole MVP discussion. Isn't this the game for Russell Wilson to show us that he is the MVP? Because you got to think about this potentially being a shootout, putting up 35 points, 40 points, going down to the last minute again. But historically, he is the best in the NFL, in NFL history, actually, to do it, to those comeback wins, games on the line, getting it done. But this is the time for Russell Wilson to solidify that I am MVP, because it's not going to be an easy game.
Okay, so I agree with a lot of what you said, and I am going to do something I hate to do, which is I'm going to be a terrible teammate right now. Because here's what Brandon Marshall has done over the last 1 hour and 52 minutes. Brandon Marshall has made sure that on Monday morning, when we discuss this game, he gets to say, I told you so. He has made this whole case for Arizona. So if they win, he can be like, told you, while still talking about Russ is the MVP and he's going to do this. So if the Seahawks win, he can be like, and this is why I picked Seattle to go to the Super Bowl. It is strategic, it is obvious, and I'm making sure America knows. That's point 1. Point 2 is this. Seattle has been living dangerously. Wilds keeps bringing up, and he's right, how close the Patriots came to beating them. We forget about it. But the Seahawks were trailing to the Cowboys and needed a 4th down conversion, or else they would have lost that game. And we all know how the Minnesota game went, where if Minnesota can get 6 inches, the game is over. And even after they don't get those 6 inches, Russ had to complete 2 4th down conversions, or else they would have lost that game. So they have been living dangerously. And I think this is the week it bites them. I think they do lose to Arizona. I think they should be on upset alert, and I think they will be upset. And the comp I use for this Seattle team, Wilds, because the defense is so bad, is the 2018 Chiefs. Historic offense, MVP quarterback, defense kept everyone in games. I think this game is going to have a feel of that Monday night classic Chiefs-Rams, where it's just every time you get there's no punts. Score, 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 score. I don't know if it's going to be 51-45. I didn't mean to do finger guns there. My apologies. I don't know if it's going to be 51-45, but I do think it could be a 45-41. I think the over is the bet of the weekend, and I think Kyler and the Cardinals pull it out, because the Seahawks, especially until they get Jamal Adams back, Wilds, this defense has been keeping teams in games all year long.
Yeah, well, if you say your comp is Rams-Chiefs, my comp is a sneakerhead with a pair of off-white Jordans that cost $2,000, and the rest of the outfit costs a collective $12. Wow, one part of your outfit is really amazing, and the rest is absolutely terrible. That's what the Chiefs are. Sorry, not the Chiefs. I mean, that's what the Seahawks are. They're giving up 471 yards a game. They're giving up 370 yards through the air. So Kyler Murray, if you throw up 350 yards, you had a bad game against the Seahawks. And Cliff Kingsbury, I know that you're the offensive genius. You're the architect of the air raid, or you're the continuing the air raid. You're a madcap scientist of offense. Well, you know what? Your quarterback had 188 yards against the woeful Dallas Cowboys defense. You have to light this defense up, or you lose your title of mad science offensive genius. And as a brutal bonus, but this is the way it works, folks, you have to sell your mansion and get a small condo in Tucson. That's the way it works. You have to be able to light this defense up, or you lose two things. Sorry, Jen, that's just the way it is. That's in the bylaws.
Just real quick, Wilds, you mentioned Kingsbury. I do think this game is going to have a Big 12 feel to it. Like Kyler at Oklahoma or Kingsbury at Texas Tech, where it's all offense on both sides, Jenna. I did the finger guns again.
Let's talk a little Thursday night football last night. Eagles and Giants. Check out this play from the third quarter. Daniel Jones takes off nothing but yikes. Green grass as far as the eye could see until he trips over nothing. Sorry, Daniel Jones. He got 80 yards. He needed 88 for the touchdown. Brandon, when you look at this play, would you consider this 80-yard run a highlight or a low light out of Danny Dimes?
This is definitely a low light, and it could have been lower if they didn't score on this the next possession on this drive. Like, this is bad. But at the same time, I didn't know if I should cheer for him or be embarrassed, because he did something elite. I think this is the fastest time by any quarterback in the last couple years or something. Faster than Kyler, who we just talked about. Faster than Lamar Jackson. Faster than I've ever run. The fastest I ever ran in the NFL was actually when I played for the New York Giants towards the end of my career, and I clocked like 20.4. Coach Aaron Wellman said, oh, here you go. Here's what the GPS said. This quarterback hit 21.8. And I'll have to take up for him just a little bit. Because for me, I always struggled in the open field because I wasn't that type of wide receiver that had that breakaway speed. So it was uncomfortable for me when there was nobody around me. And there was one play in particular on Monday Night Football playing against the Jets. Antonio Cromartie's chasing me. I just ran out of bounds, and I looked like I was running like a duck. So Danny Dimes, bruh, this is bad, but I feel you. I feel you.
Well, Nick, you know what time it is. It's time for the return of one of America's famous games. What will Joe Judge do? What will Joe Judge do? We know that he famously had several great taping tennis balls to the people's hands and jumping on the ground with slip-and-slide. So what should Joe Judge do to make sure this doesn't happen again? Number one, take everyone on the Rockaway and run in the sand. Number two, log rolling expedition. And number three, a treadmill up to 50 and you're running like Chad Johnson. Which drill should Joe Judge do to make sure this doesn't happen again?
I think running in the sand's a good one, Wilds. But by the way, our great social media executive producer, Lori Reyes, just sent me the play Brandon's talking about. I got it on my phone right here.
Oh, great.
Brandon is far too nice. Brandon Marshall whoops Antonio Cromartie on a route. It's a corner route, and his momentum carries him out of bounds. He doesn't rumble and bumble and stumble like Daniel Jones does here. So Brandon's too nice.
He's a nice
This is
man.
a low light, Jenna.
Yes, he is. Guys, we got to play a little Take Your Pick. World Series Game 3 tonight. Series all tied up. Who wins the pivotal Game 3? Dodgers or Rays? Nick, take your pick.
All right, I don't want to be too specific here. So I'm going to say Dodgers win 4-2. Walker Buehler goes 7, gives up 2 earned runs. Mookie Betts scores 1 run. You bet the under, you bet the Dodgers. You give yourself a nice little cushion for this weekend going into football. Dodgers win 4-2. Walker Buehler plays great.
I love it. I love it. Dodgers win. Buehler gets it done. Hey, he's only given up 4 runs all postseason, Wilds.
Dodgers win. Mookie Betts with another big game is going to win MVP of the World Series, and Red Sox fans are going to keep crying across the globe.
There it is. Undisputed starts right now. Have a great weekend. We'll see you.